Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another Conceptis portion of the stream. Unfortunately, it's not showing it right at this moment in time, so let me try to get that fixed. And there we go. Okay. Once again, still switching between those two screens. I really do need to kind of look at that a little bit more. Hey there, Kirito. How you doing? Welcome back to the stream. How's your day been? We're going to continue with where we last left off with the with our Conceptis puzzles. Yesterday we were able to, pretty much do the Pic-a-Pix, the Cross-a-Pix, the battleships, and the Tory yesterday. So that was, we had some fairly easy puzzles for the most part. So, so we got ourselves, some additional puzzles to continue with, and then, maybe we'll end up, with the Link-a-Pix, Fill-a-Pix, and Block-a-Pix a little bit later. But we're going to check in on our messages to see if we got any reply back from Hoya Play on the copyright claim. See if they've responded yet to me on that one. I'm not seeing any notifications for it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't maybe replied to the feedback source that I did through their game. So so maybe it's there. Maybe I got an answer from them on that end. But with it being Saturday, they probably haven't gotten back to me yet on that. I was kind of hoping that they could reply back, but they haven't yet. So, I mean, I don't want to wait for too long on the reply because, I mean, I have a lot of backlog that I need to make available on my channel, and I don't necessarily want to keep on right now I'm putting it on an external hard drive, and eventually that will get filled up. So I don't want to necessarily risk that. Um, so yeah, we got ourselves some work to do on that. Now, um, so we're gonna check on that real quick. If nothing's there, then we'll go straight into Warframe and start playing that. But if I do get an answer, then we'll go ahead and try to take care of the issue with the copyright. Hopefully it's gone, but you never know. Um, and we'll probably spend a little bit of time, trying to get some videos uploaded, and then we'll go into Warframe after that. So just kind of giving you, you know, a breakdown of what's to come later on tonight. So uh, I'm doing as well as can be expected there, Kirito. Um, you know, um, you know, could always use a little bit more luck coming my way, but I mean, who doesn't nowadays? Um, so, but I mean, I'm still here. I'm still pushing forward. I'm still walking forward. So, I mean, just gotta take it one day at a time right at the moment. Can't necessarily plan for the future right now. So, one day at a time is for me right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the Kakuduku, and we'll tackle this puzzle first. So let me go ahead and make sure that that's visible for you all. There we go. And let's see, we got the 4 and 3. And then we got the 152 or 125, whatever. Same thing. um, I haven't heard anything more along those lines. He said that, his cat was um, still with him last night, so I'm assuming that, he's his cat is still with him. So, but I mean, it's just a matter of time, you know. It's one of those things where if you know, then it's just a matter of um, preparing yourself for when that time comes. You know, um, if you know that the end is close, and you can see it, then it's just a matter of, trying to prepare yourself as much as you can for it. So, you know, it does, obviously it still hurts, on the day of, but um, it's it's a lot easier, I feel, to handle loss when you know that it's coming, when it's um, you know, when you are kind of preparing yourself for it. So, you know, the you know, it's the times when you are like really um, surprised, you know, the ones where you get completely shocked by, what has occurred. Um, to the point where that those are the moments that really hurt the most, I think, in my personal opinion. You know, it's when you know, you are completely, um, you know, uh, surprised by the loss that tends to hurt the most. So, um, I mean, these these streams aren't too bad. I mean, I've been doing it for for years, kind of thing. So, and while it is, um, while it's good to take some time off, or kind of rest up, or kind of do some other things. Um, he has, you know, he's not doing you know, like 16-hour days of streaming. So, um, that 16 hours, that would probably be a little too extreme. Um, but yeah, it's good that you're kind of, you know, you're concerned for his well-being and stuff like that. So, um, you know, but yeah, um, like there's a reason why I try to switch things up, you know, on my channel. Like I don't um I feel that that's one of the positives of having, being a variety streamer, is that um I don't necessarily need to worry about um like I'm not putting myself into a bubble. I'm allowing myself to do other things, and that doesn't necessarily stress me out that much personally. So, um, no, it's okay there, bud. You know, um, it's always good to kind of have that empathy for others. Okay. Um, Now, obviously, there are some people that are going to be able to handle streaming more than others. I mean, um, so let's put it this way. Okay. Um, Everybody handles, you know, like putting themselves out in front of out of in front of a camera, better than others, right? A lot of people have a lot of anxiety when it comes to putting themselves out in front of a camera. Um, I mean, there's a lot of people get into VTubers just because of that. They have a lot of anxiety trying to, um, trying to entertain others. They have that nervousness. Which I find kind of interesting because, like, all they need to do is just turn it off and walk away, kind of thing, at any time. Okay. Um, I kind of got used to it a little bit with, back in junior high and high school, um, I did band, like concert band and then marching band. So I'm kind of used to being out in front of a, well, I can't necessarily say I'm used to it, but I've been out in front of a crowd before. Okay. And typically for myself, it was trying to focus on the task at hand. Don't necessarily worry about the crowd in front of you, just kind of worry about, um, for me, it was just playing the music, trying to take care of that, you know. Um, and, you know, the audience, hundreds of people up in the stands and, you know, down the streets and stuff like that. That that just kind of became, um, I kind of put blinders up to that, I guess you might say. So because I was kind of focused on my task at hand for that. So, um, so while I had a little bit of nervousness about it, you know, I was still able to kind of break through that and, perform what I needed to perform, right? Um, for streamers, you're not, you still might have that, potential for like, well, I mean, when you're first starting out, unless you're like someone already famous or someone that people already know, um, you're not necessarily going to be like stepping into a streaming environment with hundreds of people automatically, right? Not normally, you know. Um, you know, uh, but for like a first time streamer, you're lucky to get one viewer, much less, hundreds, right? When you're first time streaming. Um, so um, especially nowadays with the market, with everything being as saturated as it is, for streamers, right? So, um, so the thing is that you're for streamers, if they get too nervous or anything like that, they can just kind of close it down and walk away, you know, and they don't necessarily need to worry about that afterwards. Okay, that's one of the nice things about a streamer, So um, you can just kind of take care of what you need to kind of take care of, and um, you can, you know, you don't necessarily need to stress about anything in particular. Um, and the amount of time that you put into it all depends on how much time, like, are you feeling comfortable about it? And is your, you know, does your voice handle that amount of speaking too? Something that you have to kind of consider. So, um, now, I mean, you don't have to speak for a streamer. There's some streamers that are completely mute, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, some people just use like TTS to talk with their chat, and again, that's um, that's perfectly fine. You know, so but um, um, every streamer has a different amount of time that they can kind of spend on it. So some can do like an hour and that's it. And again, that's perfectly fine. If that's all that they can handle, that's all that they can handle. We don't want to push them more than that. If they can only handle an hour a day, then that's all they can handle. You know, um, the people that push themselves for like 8 hours a day, well, that's a lot of time streaming. You know, um, you know, Hopefully they're taking breaks during it, you know, getting up, stretching and stuff like that. Because, well, um, and this is what I'm gonna say on the record. Um, well, okay. Let me put it this way. Um, I was about to say that, streaming is definitely not as hard as a um, 9 to 5 job. Okay. I've done a 9 to 5 job before. Okay. You know, I've worked fast food. I've worked retail before. I've worked um, at a, uh, I've worked at an office building before, shuffling paper and folders and stuff like that. So, um, those style jobs I find a lot harder than what I'm doing right now as a streamer. But let's face it, okay? There are some streamers that put a lot more effort into their streams. Um, they put a lot more like production value into their streams. Um, you know, um, and some people have various talents that they also bring um, into what they do on the streams, right? Um, so, some people put in a lot of effort into what they want to do on the streams. And, you know, I could see someone making streams, you know, difficult or, potentially very, um, to the point where, they're putting a lot of effort and production value, to try to be an entertainer while streaming. Okay. And let's face it, you know, um, I mean, unless you're doing some other, something else on your streams, like maybe you're doing like a book reading, or maybe you're doing like historical facts or political streams or something along those lines. Um, you know, um, you're basically there to entertain for the most part, your audience, right? You're trying to make sure that, your audience is having a good time, all right? Um, if you're doing more like, political discussions or something like that, then obviously um, that's a different, I guess you might say, style of entertainment. Although technically it's not really entertainment at that point. It's more along the lines of um, like historical discussion or something along those lines. Um, but um, you know, I could see someone making their streams as difficult as a 9 to 5 job could be. Let me put it to you that way. Okay. The the amount of effort that they put into what they're doing in the stream, um, you know, could rival, what some people do, like just on stage, just doing like a talent show or something along those lines. And they try to do it like every day. So, so, yeah, it depends on the streamer. It depends on what they do and stuff like that. Um, so yeah. So, um, I was in grade school. I played flute, played in a play. I think in the school I was violin for Christmas plays. Oh, okay. Yeah, being a musician can be quite rewarding sometimes. So, Okay. Sorry for the little sidetrack. Let's go ahead and go into the my skyscrapers here. It's a medium puzzle apparently. So um, let's go ahead and make that visible for everybody. There we go. Okay, this one is going to be a little interesting because um, well, okay. First off, I look at this and go, okay, well, we have a 2 here, right? So obviously I can't put a 5 there. That doesn't work. I can't put a 5 there because of this 2. And same thing for all these other 2s. Can't put a 5 there, there, that. So right now, this, the 5 has to be here. you know, there's no question about it. 5 is there. And that also means that, well, the 4 has to be there, because, um, if I have a, 1, 2, 3, there's going to be a 4 around there, and that's going to screw up the 2. So yeah, that 4 goes to 5, and there you go. So that means that we have a 1, a 2, and a 3 somewhere here. But we don't know, you know, what number there, you know. So the problem is that, um, you know, we're gonna have to kind of figure out where the 5s are, you know, in regards to the other values here, right? So, because we have no um, we have no distinction here. I mean, most likely one of these is a 5. So, um, you know, because it would seem very odd for to have the 5 here and not one of these. So, but, the 5 could be over here. That could be a 5. You never know. Um, oh, but wait. One of these has to be a 1, right? So one of these has to be a 5. There's no question about that. So the 5 is here in with these 3. Otherwise, the 2 wouldn't work. So there can't be a 5 there. So, um, quit in high school to focus on your studies and sports. Understandable there, bud. Understandable. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up our listing of values here. There we go. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, and 5 there. All right. And we'll go ahead and kind of repeat that for the rest of these. There's no other numeric clues for us for the rest of these, um, for the rest of the boxes here. Okay. So, you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to fill these all in, and then we're going to kind of work on trying to knock out some values along the way. Okay. So, at least we're going to try to. But I mean, we're kind of left with a lot to work with here. So Okay. So the fact that, this is a medium is not too much of a surprise on that. So, um, mm, okay, here's what I'm going to say about this, though. Okay. If I have a 1, then I have to have a 5, right? If I have a 2 here, then it would have to be either like, 1 or a 5 with the 2, right? If it's a 3, then it would have to be 1, 2, or a 5. Okay. Well, I mean, technically the 1 will have to have the 5 right afterwards. So technically the 1 and the 3 will just have the 1 and 2, right? So technically, um, we can't have a 3 in these blocks or a 4. It has to be a 1, 2, or a 5 in these blocks right afterwards. Okay. So, because if it's 3, then that means once again the 2 is wrong, right? It would be like, 1, 3, 5. That doesn't work. 2, 3, 5. That doesn't work. And it can't be 3, 3, 5. So 3s and 4s are gone here, which means that the 1 and 2 is gone here because it has to be 1 and 2 on these blocks, right? And the 1 and 2 is gone on these, right? Same process. But here's the thing. We got a 3 over here, and we got a 4 over there. So I was kind of already leaning towards the 4 here because you can't have a 4 on these because it breaks the 2s. And this was the last 4 available. Like the 4 wasn't over there, so this was the clear conclusion on that. So, okay. Um, so let's look at this a little bit more here. Um, um, hmm. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do anything more with this row. Let me try to explain. So let's say we have a 1 here, we have a 5 here, right? That means, while the 1 and 5 might be gone, that still has the 2, 3, and 4, you know, afterwards, right? So, um, let's say we have a 2 here, like, you know. Now, obviously, 2 wouldn't have the 5, first off. Okay, 2 wouldn't have the 5 afterwards because it would have to be the 1 and 5. So the 2 wouldn't have the 5. It would have to have the 1 right afterwards, right? So the 2 and 1 are gone. Okay, but it could still be the 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5 is still available here, right? Now let's say, we have the 3, right? 3 won't get the 5. We've already established that. Okay. But it could still have the 1 and 2 there. Okay. But we don't know which one it could be, right? It could be 3, 1, and it could be the 2 right afterwards. Okay. Or it could be the 3, 2, and 1 afterwards. Okay. And then you have the, 3, 4, 5. So I can't get rid of any numbers along this line because I don't know, where the 1, I don't know where the 2, and I don't know where the 3 is on these. Once I know, I can try to sort things out a little bit better, but I don't yet. So we're kind of stuck on this front right at the moment. So we don't know. So, um, okay. Okay, we could do 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, 4, and 5. We could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5. So, don't think I can really do much with this particular railroad at the moment. Um, hmm, okay. Let's see. The 1 and 5 is going to potentially break the entire column. So no other 5s could be there. But here's the thing. I don't think. Okay, let's say I have a 5. You know, let's hypothesize here. Let's say that there's a 5 on the last row, or on this last row here for these ones, right? But that's a problem, okay? That's a problem because these don't contain 4s, okay? So that means that the 1, 2, and 3 here will have a 4 somewhere in these 3 blocks otherwise, right? Well, technically in these 2 blocks. So that would ruin the 2 if the 5 was here along this row, right? So I know that I can't have a 5 there. I just can't. I can't have one there. That means that the only other 5 for this row that can be allowed is this one here. So, and with the 1 and 2 here, and the 1 and 2 here, we know we can get rid of the rest of the values here. There we go. And now obviously we have the 3, the 4, and the 5 there. So now with the 5 being there, I know the 4 can't be here because that would ruin the 2, right? So the 4 has to be there. Um, so there's that. But again, we don't know where the other 5 is on these 2 yet. But here's the thing. With the 5 being there, I know it can't be the 1 and it can't be the 2. So it has to be the 3. So now with the 3 being there, and we got some 1 and 2s kind of lining up there, we can kind of clear out these other 1 and 2s on this row. There we go. And hey, we got our 3, so it's just 3 there, so that's good. I see the 1 and 2 there, which clears out this for the 3 there. And now we have just a 5 left here. And we got a 4 left here, which means the 5 has to be there. Which means here's the 1. There's the 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, and 1. There we go. Let's see. So a little bit of definitely a brain teaser, you know. Um, okay. Looks like Blackheart's backing out today. So if anybody is aware of their Discord, so looks like he did a lot of potential work today. So all right. Let's see. Well, I hope he's doing okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go on to our next puzzle here. We just finished off the skyscrapers. Um, let's go with the Tic-Tac-Logic here. Okay, let me make that viewable. There we go. Okay, so first off, I see a lot of double X's around, so let's get some O's out there. And then, of course, we got some doubles up of the O's, so we'll throw some X's down. And then, of course, we got some X's in between, so there's that. And then we got another one over there. One right there. One right there. One right there. I think that's all the in-betweens for the moment, so we move back to the circles. We got some double X's, so circle, circle, in between, circle, circle in between. And that looks like that's it for the in-betweens again. So once again, we go back to the double O's, and there's an X there. And don't really see anything more per se along those lines. So we'll look at the numbers and see what else we can do. So we just have 2 circles left here, so let's fill those in. And we got a circle left needed here, so we fill that in. We got some doubles, so let's get those X's in. And then, of course, one missing O. There we go. Okay. I don't see any more like doubles or, in betweens right at this moment in time. So now we're going to try to figure out like, how to solve the rest of this, right? So now, if I put an X here, that doesn't really work because you can't have 3 circles here. So it has to be a circle right there, right? And then of course, if I have 2 circles here, that doesn't really work. So one of them has to be an X here. So we have a remaining circle there. So let's see. If we put a circle here, that doesn't work. 3 X's, so it has to be an X. So and then of course, we can't have 2 X's in a row like that. So one of them has to be a circle, which means the remainder has to be an X. These 2 here can't be the X's. There has to be a circle in here, so there has to be an X there. And nothing much we can do there. Okay, but I see that we have some in-betweens, so there's an X there, there's a circle there. And then of course, for 3, there has to be a circle there. We got 2 circles, so there's an X there. And then of course 3, 4, last one is an X. So, no other doubles ups, but I do see the double circle here that we can throw X in there for. And then of course we got a double X there, so there's a circle, which means that there's an X right there. All right. So now we can't have two X's here. One of these has to be a circle. So that means we have to have an X there, right? But there's a double X. So there's a circle and there's an X. So, and of course we got two double X's here and a double circle. So there's a circle, there's a circle, there's an X. And of course for 3, this one has to be a circle. Then we got double circles there. So there's an X. Circle has to be in the middle. X has to be in the middle there and circle there. So there we go. All done. Okay, now we got about 15 more minutes, so we should still be able to, depending on how difficult they are, should be able to finish off the last two here. The slew link and the hashi, but we'll see. This is supposedly an easy one, so let me go ahead and bring that forward. There we go. All right, now we have lines here. And then, of course, there can be a line there or there. Same thing with this one. These. And we're good there. Okay, next. I mean, this 3 is a given, so we'll fill those in. Let's see, what else can we do here? Well, we know we can't have that because that's not possible, right? So we need to have a line there and a line there, and there's that. So there's that. Okay, I also know that, when you have 2 3s like this, you can't have that because that would make two, 2 out of the necessary 4 blocked off, right? You can't do something like that, right? So, so what happens is that you typically end up with, a design like this on both ends. They're kind of facing each other, and you have to have these kind of corners on there. Otherwise, it doesn't necessarily work very well. Okay, so and then we have, we already have a corner here, which can't put a line there. So there we go. And then of course we got a line. Oops, not there. There. Can't have a line here because that one's blocked off, so we need a line there. And then of course we get that's blocked off, so we got that and that. So, and now if I do a line there, that causes a problem with this 3 because, where does this line go to, right? So we can't have a line there, so it has to go this way. And then of course we've, take care of those. So, and then we got this line kind of going down there. Now, once again, we're kind of, we can't have the line like this because once again, we'd have a line here which doesn't work. Okay, so we can't do something like this, right? So what we do is we make sure that we have, this corner has to have that, corner piece, right, for the 3, or a corner piece, I should say. And because we can't have a line there, there we go. 3's done and 2's done. So Nothing can be here, so we'll block those off. All right, now we can't have a line here. We can't have a line there. Can't have a line there. So the only line that we can have is right there, which, we basically have, blocked off. So, we can't have, something like this, right? That doesn't work. So, what we got is basically something like this, which means we have to have a line going out that way and a line connecting there. So, okay. Hmm. I want to come over to this one here because if we put a line there, it doesn't work. If we put a line there, it doesn't work. So, this and this is out. All right. Which this two, is only has two left. So throw those in. We got those knocked out, and we got those there. So there's our one knocked out for the three. So there we go. Okay, can't do anything there. So and can't do anything with those. We got to bring this line out there, and there's nowhere else for this line to go. So there goes that. We can't do something like this. So that's connected. That's connected. And then of course, this one just has nowhere to go really. So we'll just kind of follow this around. And there's that. This one can't go down, so we're going to have to kind of go out this way. This would go nowhere if we had a line there, so that's nothing, which means our 2 is complete. We can't really do anything more with that 2. This line has to go down there, which blocks that one and that one, which means this one only has that. Okay, nothing can be there. And that's where it connects, okay. And then one line there. Okay, and nothing can be there. Okay, so this is where things start getting a little interesting because now we have to figure out where everything is connecting up with. So there's nothing there. Now these 2s are kind of a problem because if you do, if you work on these 2s, incorrectly, then you're not gonna, have them line up properly, right? So, like for example, if you do something like this, you got a dead end. It doesn't really work, right? Same thing like this. Sure you're satisfying the 2s, but the line goes nowhere. Okay, so what happens is that you're going to have to do something like this, and there you go. So, and then of course we connect there. We need, there's nothing else for this one other than that. So connect there, and there's that. So now, if you notice, this line goes all the way around, all the way around to here, right? So if I connect there, that's a problem. We've basically isolated everything else, so we can't have that. Nothing, we can't connect there. So that one goes down, this one connects there. So, and now we're kind of faced with some problems here because once again, how do we resolve, what we're seeing here, you know, um, so now Now I could say like, oh yeah, we can just do something like this, right? But here's the thing. I can also do something like this and it'd still work in this particular case. It's not an exact copy of these two up there, so be careful with that. Don't fall into that trap of like, oh, with two twos next to each other, I could just do like a little bit of a box kind of situation. No, doesn't always work out that way. Um, so let's see. Okay, I look at this two here, and obviously we can't do like parallel. That doesn't really work, right? Same with the other way. Doesn't really work. So um, we basically have two options here right at the moment. We either have this way or this way. But here's the problem. This way doesn't work, right? So the only other solution for this one is that. And then first we got a line down there, and this line goes right out that way. So nothing can be handled there, so we take care of that. Connect there, and there's that. So far it's been quite an interesting run through right at this moment in time, right? So now we connect there, and obviously we can't connect with these two. Once again, we complete a circle without finishing out the puzzle, so we can't have something there. So this means this line goes down and across. This one extends out that way. Keep on extending, extending, and obviously we can't do something like that. That doesn't work, so we have to go up, and there we go. We're all done. So hopefully that was, you know, easy enough for you guys to understand. Like if, hopefully it didn't like confuse you about, what I was doing on that one. So, um, again, if anybody has any questions about these puzzles, feel free to ask. I don't mind answering them. So, I'd rather you have um, a solid understanding about, what these puzzles are than you being completely confused. Um, let me help you, when if you're having some difficulties. So I got about I see about like 2 more minutes for an hour. Let's see, Hashi. Oh, they're saying that's a medium difficulty. Okay, this might take a little bit longer than the 2 minutes that I have. So, for the hour for our Conceptus puzzles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this medium Hashi for tomorrow. So look forward to that one. We have, and then of course, that would be the end of, my typical number logic run through. And then we have, the Link-a-Pix, apparently very easy. Um, we have a Fill-a-Pix, another very easy one. And the Block-a-Pix. This one will take a while. So most likely, if I do Conceptus tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and whenever the next time I do the Conceptus, um, it'll be most likely completing the Hashi, which might take a while, might take the full hour. Not sure. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And then we'll do the Link-a-Pix and Fill-a-Pix. Try to finish that within the hour. And then, of course, the Block-a-Pix will take its time. We'll have to kind of work on that for a while. So, all right, but that's going to be it for our Conceptis puzzles for tonight. So I want to thank Kirito for stopping on by and chatting with me. Appreciate it. Anybody else that was just kind of lurking in the background, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Check out the description for multiple links down below. Discord, Patreon, Throne. Got the Stream Team Robot down below there at that application. So check that out if you're interested in that. But that's going to be it for tonight. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Hopefully you can give a like and subscribe. That would be fantastic. But that's going to be it. So take care. Have a good night. Stay healthy, stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.